A pleasure to meet y'all at last. And you know what they say, go big or go home. And I can say for sure that this blaster right here might be a decent example of that little saying being attributed to Nerf blasters, but this right here, we've had Mega blasters like this, right? You remember when a few years back they released the Mega Mastodon? Well, this is kind of like its younger sibling. This is the Megalodon. And I do have a lot to say about this, as a matter of fact, because other than the fact that Hasbro has once again incorporated the giant orange plastic drum for usage of Mega Darts, this one in general, the fact that it can hold 20 of them at once compared to that of the Mastodon, this one doesn't really seem to do that bad. Okay, that right there was kind of a problem right there, because I can't really seem to put my finger on it, because after all, I will say for sure that yeah, I've been able to pull out this drum easily for some time. And I'm not really positive, but this one right here, out of all priming mechanisms that have ever been attributed or have even been used, okay, now I got it to work. So I was gonna say some pretty horrible things about something like that, of how you somehow can't use Mega AccuStrike darts on a Mega Blaster like this, but I'll pretty much let that go for now, because now I want to talk a little about this, because just look at that. Okay, there it goes again, so I'll talk a little more about that later, but anyways. The priming handle is this thing? I mean, this is how you hold it, pretty much. It kind of gives you the feeling that you're handling a really heavy-based MG sort of weapon on it with a giant drum on it. It kind of makes sense, but I guess that's also the reason why they didn't want to put a stock on it or a longer barrel. They kind of wanted us to give the feeling of having a smaller blaster, yet have it have some heavy machine gun related power to it. So maybe it probably was a good idea when it first started off with the Mastodon, but the Megalodon here probably isn't much better, because since the Mastodon pretty much got it right with the usage of having this only be the carrying handle for it and not at the same time to be used as a priming mechanism, I mean, look at that. Sometimes you can't really get it to work properly. So, yeah, okay. And I only have 2 darts left, so let's go ahead and use both of those. Well, okay. Now I gotta officially talk a little more about this. So anyways, look down to the barrel. Right there is a Mega AccuStrike dart. And no, yeah, it's not comical. I did not intentionally have the dart not slide in all the way through the barrel, because after all, there's really a lot that I'd have to say about this in general. So, yeah. The point is, yeah, definitely don't use Mega AccuStrike darts on this, because it is not going to work the way you expect. But as for regular Mega darts, they work just fine. But I guess my main gripe about having the Mega AccuStrike dart being used on this, they don't even fire correctly. I mean, what gives? What were you doing, Nerf? What is this? You can't make a Mega AccuStrike dart be used in a Mega Blaster like that? Yeah, it keeps misfiring for some reason. Either it's that or it's just not compatible. What a waste. Right there. But other than that, I wish that there were a lot of other good things I could say about this, other than the fact that it gives you that impression of being a heavy gunner right here. It's ginormous drum, which allows for a lot of Mega Darts to be used all at once. And, well, the grip over here is pretty good, and the handle on top is also fair enough, I guess. But wow. No tactical rails! None of them! None of them are on this thing! How are you going to put a sight up? And I think that the iron sights right here, they're just forcing you to use them. And besides, look at, I can barely look through my own fingers. I can't use these sights! My gosh. What were you thinking? I had a lot of gripes with some other blasters as well. So much that I really wanted to talk about, but you know what? You have one last chance to be a good designer of this blaster. Whoever made this, I'm giving you one more chance. Because there's one last thing here that I want to put in. Yeah, invisible integration. Let's give it a try, but I'm gonna have to cut. Sorry. Alright, here we go. Now, I might have to stand up for this, so let's just see how this works. Wow. Now that was powerful. Oh my gosh. But wow. A somewhat good blaster like this, with some serious flaws. This one, I know that Drac had given this a low rating too, but I feel like it needs to go down a little bit further. Because 3 fatal flaws that perfectly apply to this. The drum can slide out easy. The priming mechanism is also the carrying handle on top, and there's no tactical rails. But you know what? I really wasn't going to have to stoop this low, but let's add in a 4th con to this that really wrecks this blaster for all time. Apparently you cannot use Mega AccuStrike darts on this at all. Even though some of them do work, I mean, who would want to take a chance like that? Who would want to risk their own lives out on the battlefield, of anything in general, just to use this? And also, there's not really much of a forward grip over here, even though this is like the only spot where you can put your other hand if you're not wanting to put it up here. But, like I said, who would want to risk spending a lot on this thing, and who, better yet, who would want to have something like this anyways? There's a giant drum down here that could easily fall out if you're not careful, and performance-wise, I don't really know if it's as good as many of the other Mega Blasters in its own rights, but this one's like a D- pretty much. A 4.5 out of 10. That's technically one of the lowest ratings that I've ever given to any blaster I've ever talked about so far, but trust me, we haven't really seen the worst of it yet. Not yet. Because I will say there's a lot more that I have to talk about this. So yeah, 4.5 out of 10. But if you want to see more, go down on my channel. Make sure that you like, subscribe, comment, and you know.